All right, we're on day three, and I'm cracking myself up. I went somewhere with this next prompt, and then I was like, did I do the exercise? And then I couldn't bring myself back. But I'm going to share it anyway, because that is absolutely part of the process and part of what can happen. I'm going to recap a little bit. Day one, I listed my desires. Day two, I turned desire or anything that showed up like a goal into a desire. And I did mention some things about goals, but to me, I would say the primary way to tell if what you wrote down as a goal is that it is a specific point in time or a specific moment that you reach, and then transitioning that to a desire. So that was on day two. Now, day three is about an argument against realism. And this is all based in the Embodied Law of Attraction journal. Link is in the notes, so you're welcome to buy a copy, or you can follow along with me on Telegram for free. There's a link for that as well. So, an argument against realism. I needed to refine my desire list after day two, which is normal, and that's part of the process as well. Because if I transition them from goals into desires, like what does that look like? And then day three is about expanding your desire. So this is very interesting. The way I describe it in the journal is, let's say you're normally running at a 20 out of 100 in just the way you're viewing the world, the imagination that you have, the opportunities that you see, all that kind of stuff. So if you're writing down your desires and you keep things at that 20, which is for you kind of a realistic idea, then you're kind of keeping the opportunities and manifestations kind of at that same level. But if you expand your imagination, let's say you go to a 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, then even if it's unrealistic, even if it doesn't seem like it's something that could actually happen, now all of a sudden, one, you're deeper into your desire. You feel it more, you connect to it more. If you haven't noticed, that's a theme here. It's actually the biggest theme. Like the more deeply we connect to our desires, the more congruent we are with them, and the quicker they're going to come in. So it connects you deeper to your desire, but also it like illuminates things that weren't available before. So whether that's a relationship that you have or another desire that you didn't realize you had, or um, an opportunity, like now you start to see things differently and you start to notice more things that are in line with your desire. So even after the exercise, if you're not just still living in that realm of what seems like it might not be possible, you've still opened up more opportunities and more possibility. Like I said, this exercise today took me somewhere, and it was my intention to sit down and kind of do this with each of the things I had listed. And then I was like, I can't like force myself back into that box after I did the first thing. So, like I said, I'm going to share it with you, and then I'm going to come back to this exercise with other desires later. And, when you do the journal, you can do it however you want. It's not meant to necessarily be like one day, one exercise. There are going to be places where you get to hang out, get juiced up, get interested. There might be parts of the journal you never visit because they don't relate to you. I do want to throw in, so yesterday after shifting my goals to desires, I was just noticing, I was on a walk with my dog and I was like, now I feel this instead of like headspace wanting of the list that I had the first day, I felt this like internal pulling toward the things that I had come up with. And this exercise has created that even more, even though I just did it. Like it's like alive in me. And I'm like, "Ooh, what's this gonna bring about?" So I'm first gonna tell you how I refined my desires after going through one and two. My desire to triple my income was a desire for flow, to rise up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, to have day to day handled with confidence so I can move even more toward curiosity and play. It's really hard to read my writing, if I'm being perfectly frank here. Um, Curiosity and play. My desire to teach is truly to teach live, in person, and online. It's also about, this was a new layer that came in. It's also about attracting the people to me who thrive through the work that I offer. I'm thinking of specific people who take what I offer and then transform their lives from it, and it's incredible. Willing, curious, playful, adventurous. They like to try weird shit for the sake of their evolution and just for the sake of being alive. And actually, they prefer to do weird shit for the sake of their evolution. And what I love to create is play spaces where we can all come together. So, my the first piece I took toward expanding my imagination was like I said, I didn't get past this and I went somewhere wild. I feel very vulnerable in it too. Just having the day-to-day covered. So, my realistic version of that is I have a financial team, a bookkeeper, an accountant, a financial advisor. We meet in a board-like setting each quarter to talk about my finances and how to grow them. So, even though that doesn't seem like something I could get right now, that seems like a very practical thing that I could choose to do and start moving toward in the future, like I was talking yesterday about kind of set it and forget it, but then things are like growing and thriving in that setting. And part of that is getting people on it that help it grow and thrive, and like those details are their juicy place in life. So I can focus on the ones that are my juicy place in life. So maybe not practical for this very moment to hire all of those people, but it's definitely something I could see. It's reasonable, and it would bring me closer to my desire. Cool. So then again, the point of this is to become completely unrealistic. So something in that same realm, same direction, and just like if you could just make up a story about this that is totally wild and still gives you what you want, what might that look like? And mine went like this. I become a fendom to one of the 20-something-year-old sons of the Illuminati. He particularly loves humiliation. So I am his humiliation fendom. I get this little shit to take all the money back from the dictators, traffickers, warmongers, gun runners, drug suppliers, etc. Then this little fucker is going to hold it in an escrow account where it builds interest. He's going to have to hide from his family because he's going to be in trouble, but he's able to do it. And the money sits in this account and grows interest. And then the interest in this account goes toward funding like socialistic government worldwide. I mean, why not? Definitely here, but that's so much money, like worldwide. And I actually do believe in capitalism. I believe it's the closest financial system we have to democracy. Our capitalism in the United States, though, is pretty fucked because it's polluted by politicians that are bought and paid for and like messes with actually what people want. So part of my FinSub's responsibility is going to be like creating this socialistic government experience and then keeping it unpolluted. So like politicians aren't allowed to be bought and paid for in order to make laws that support what they want to do or what their people that are giving them money want to do. So that's a big job for him. But, you know, with somebody with that much power and connections, he can handle it. He can fucking do it. When I took myself down that story, I couldn't come back. I was like, what do I want for myself? And I'm like, I don't even know. I just know I want to be the fin top to this Illuminati, young Illuminati boy, not boy, 20 something year old young man. And, you know, have him take care of the people. It's really important. So then the government takes care of housing, healthcare, prisons, no more private prisons. I mean, come on. And I think there are some other things. And that also means like pharmaceuticals are part of healthcare, not part of the capitalist free market. Come on, dude. So crazy. So that's where I got. And then the final piece is like, what is interesting about that, besides it being hilarious? I didn't actually write this down yet, so I get to explore it in real time. Like, what's interesting, what's most important, and like, what are the desires in it? Like, what true desires? Like, this is a cool fantasy. And I kind of went there deeply enough that it didn't feel like an impossibility. I was like, oh, yeah, I could see that. That'd be cool. No problem. And I mean, really, like, one, you know, my desire, I mean, there are a few of them, but one of them, just at a clear, obvious level, is people being taken care of, like people's basic needs being met. There's no reason for people to be unhoused if they don't want to be. There are people who do want to be, but if they don't want to be, there's no reason for people to lose their homes over medical bills. That's insane. I am pro-choice, like across the board. I want people to have choice. And so much in our system is set up where people don't have choice in a place that we claim people get to choose, let alone the, you know, recent laws that have been reversed that are just also insane. Like it's just madness. But people having their basic needs met, people having choice. And then I'm always like you know, I talked about this holographic experience, like inside outside. So then, like, I want people to have choice. That means I want to have choice. And if I wanted to take this a little deeper, which I'm not going to do in this video right now, but like, where do I feel like I don't have choice? Or where do I feel like I haven't had choice and I needed to be taken care of in a way that I wasn't? I feel really emotional when I say that, actually. So that's interesting. And then there truly is like a desire, and I don't know if it's one I'll ever try to make a reality. Like, I don't know that it's a priority, but that feeling of being a dom to somebody with a lot of power, I really like that. And again, choice. So it's not just me having power over somebody who has power. They're choosing and I'm choosing. But and then like I also I love like getting people to do the opposite of what they've been doing. Like like things have been going, there's inertia this way, and then like stopping it, getting it to go backwards for like a different experience. I also want to speak to this too, because it's very relevant to the things that are rising up in me. Um, and I've just been thinking about this a lot, like control and manipulation versus true inspiration. And I think it's really easy to get, depending on the temperament, depending on your temperament, really easy to get out of control yourself if you feel like you don't have control over something else. And I read this book when I was in college. I think it was called something like Wilderness in the United States. There was another word in there. But basically it was like how the wilderness of the US was treated basically since the Europeans came over, and like how that has changed. Like obviously it was being treated well by the Native Americans. And then when the Europeans came over, they wanted to control it. They wanted to control the people. They wanted to control the wilderness. And because they didn't know what to do in the face of it being itself. And they also talked about like, people would quote parts of the Bible, like that the wilderness needed to be tamed and all this stuff. And I often think that's why men controlled women for so long, because our power is so wild and strong. And what are we going to do if they're not keeping us in a very specific, very controlled container? What are we going to do? I bet it's not worse than what the men have done. Just to be clear, I love men on a personal level. I obviously don't love the men in power that have been in charge up till now in the world, uh, in general. They have not done a great job. But personally, I've really enjoyed men. So it's not all men, but the ones who do choose control, that is why. Because how are they gonna handle the wildness of the feminine? And, the feminine is not to be controlled. It's to be held. It's to be given structure, not enslavement. And I mean, the reason I've been thinking about it for a lot of reasons, but one of the recent reasons is I was dog sitting this dog and I like could not control his behavior. He like would not be on my same wavelength. And it infuriated me. And I just watched myself get infuriated. And I was like, how do I inspire him? Like, how do I get him on my side? How do I make him an ally and an accomplice to like do this together instead of trying to force him into my thing? And that was like my question. I did find a way. Like, I didn't, I wasn't being mean to him, but it definitely brought some stuff up in me. But that's the question. Like if we don't know how to inspire and get on our side and get into our stream of consciousness, um, then our default is to exert control or give up and feel like a victim. So I guess that's what's interesting to me in that. And it does lead me to even more like, what is my desire in this? And my desire is really to, um, like, it is to lead. I'm a Leo moon, Leo North node. Like, leading is in my destiny. And I love to lead, like I've already said, like in synergy and in excitement and in exponential growth and evolution and reciprocity. And, that's what I really want. And the action portion of the journal, again, if you get the journal and follow along, like it doesn't have to be done in order, but the action portion is at the end. But one of the questions here would be, if that's my desire, like how do I start creating that right now? Doesn't mean I have to get it in my business. That's like my vision. Doesn't mean I have to get it there. But, and if I don't know how to go get it yet, like when have I had that? Start connecting to when have I already had that? Do I have that now? Are there places where I feel like I'm leading and whoever I'm leading is like excited for it? Do I feel like there are places of reciprocity in my life? Do I feel like there are places where synergy happens when I get together? And the answer is yes, I do. I do feel those things. And then how do I like honor that more, lean into that more, build that more, find that more, create that more? And the more I do that, and the more I'm in those spaces and those places and that feeling and that experience and see that it is true and can be true and can be more true, the more I know like what to do and how, I mean, not even how to do, it doesn't have to be like a plan or something, but just like I will know, like I always think of the plant moving toward the sun. Like if that's my sun, like it'll be clear how to move toward it. So this journal can take you some places. That's where it took me today.